It's something we may have all dreaded growing up, but chores are an important part of a child's development. So this morning, child development expert Kendra is here to talk about how to give your children meaningful things to do. Good morning.
Good morning.
It is really one of the hardest things. You want kids to be kids,
right?
But a big part of that is responsibility and accountability. And
Correct.
So let's talk a bit. What does it provide?
Well, so first, I think we see moms and we tell them all the time, you're too good of a mom. Like, don't do everything for your kids. We have to teach them how to do some things.
Right.
So the number one thing it teaches them to work hard, which we want all our kids. If they work hard, chances are they're going to be successful with whatever they do, right? It also teaches them to start something and to complete something, which we have to do that 1,000 times in one day. So it's really working the organization of their mind to start, to complete the task, and to do it well.
I would think, though, it's really important that you get the right chore for the right child at the right age.
Yes.
So you've got a chart. We're going to kind of walk through it. And these are age-appropriate charts. So let's start with those 2 to 3-year-olds, because I'm thinking, wait a minute, what can a 2 to 3-year-old do?
You know what? 2 to 3-year-olds are smart and they can follow tasks. They just have to be taught. So they can really and truly pick up their toys. They can have the responsibility of feeding an animal, whether it's a fish or a dog. It still lets them take focus on someone else besides themselves. They can dust. They can wipe down a table. They can sort recycling or even kind of start to sort laundry. A 2 and 3-year-old can do a lot of tasks.
Probably more than some moms and dads even think about.
Right, and it's easier to just wipe down the table than tell them to do it and then they don't do it right. But it's still teaching and molding them, and it helps their adaptive skills. It helps them appropriately respond to situations.
Okay, let's look at the 4 to 6-year-old.
Okay, yeah, so 4 and 6-year-old can actually set a table. And this does not mean you have to have china. I mean, you can use paper plates, but just setting the plate and the cup and the fork and the knife, it helps with reading because you're working the organization process of the brain, right? Sorting laundry, matching socks works their visual skills, finding the two that go together. I mean, there's so much you can do. Watering plants, pulling weeds. I mean, there's lots of things that a 4 and 6-year-old can do.
I love that. Now let's look at the next age group, those 7 to 9-year-olds.
Yeah, so 7 to 9-year-olds can actually wake up with an alarm clock.
Okay.
I know it's fun to tell them good morning. You can set the alarm and then push them through. They can start to pack their own lunch. I would still look over it, but they can start to do that. They can fold laundry. It's great for them to go out and get the mail. They can sort what they think is junk mail. They can sort what they think is bills. There's a lot of responsibility that a 7 and 9-year-old can have.
I like the mail idea, especially because you can explain we have to pay for things, and this is how it happens. That's very cool. Although paying the bill doesn't always happen through the mail anymore, but that's for another discussion. All right, and this last kind of the group from 10 to 14-year-olds.
So 10-year-olds should have responsibilities for sure. If you ask, they'll say 90% of families will tell you that their kids do chores. 66% of the kids will tell you what their chores are.
Okay.
So they think they have chores. The parents think they're giving them chores, but they aren't setting them to where they're a daily task.
Okay.
So a 10-year-old, they can start doing laundry with supervision. They can mow the yard. They can actually clean the bathrooms and clean the mirrors. And it's not going to be done perfect, but it's teaching them the process of that. Mopping, they can start kind of preparing meals and helping you cook a little bit. Again, setting the table. And then even in the summer, let them wash your car. Right. It's fun. They think it's fun, but it's still starting a task and finishing a task. And then you get to kind of drive around in a clean car.
Let's talk about the rewards. I mean, some parents are, opposed to maybe giving a financial, means. What do you think about paying for a chore?
So I think some chores are just an expectation. You live in our house, you're going to work hard, I'm going to work hard, it's an expectation. But it's okay if they do something above and beyond to give them a reward. We live in a reward world system, and so it's okay to praise them and to give them. It's not about doing it just to get the money or to get the reward. It's really about doing it because of expectations, and we want you to work hard.
If you do that, though, if you are giving them something and talking to them about how you should portion that money.
Yes. Well, I'm all about that. So we're all about teaching them to save, teaching them to give, and then teaching them to spend. Children have to learn that. And so the younger you start teaching that, the quicker they'll pick up on that. I love to reward children when they're doing a service project. So maybe they go rake the leaves for the neighbor. Well, then let's go reward them. They helped someone else. So no, I think you've got to start teaching those skills pretty young.
I love it. Those are great suggestions. My kids are way past all of that, but I watch Dave's kids and what they're posting that they're getting to do. It's really phenomenal, and I think it will pay off in the long run.
It will, and children actually like to do chores. They like to complete the task, so they like it. Sometimes we have to motivate them to get going and to get it done. But
it's definitely important, though, to remind them you're part of the family, and everybody has a responsibility.
Correct.
Great to see you, Kendra. We'll catch you next month.
Okay.